Every year, Huawei sub-brand Honor tends to release a flagship that is significantly cheaper than the ongoing Huawei flagship, usually sporting almost the same powerful spec sheet with very little compromise in build quality and camera performance. The company is doing it once again this year with the Honor View 10. I'm Warren with KLGadgetTV, and this is the full review. The Honor View 10 doesn't look visually appealing as the Huawei Mate 10 Pro. Sure enough, the front face does tend to fool you into thinking that it is a lengthier version of the standard Mate 10, but once you turn over to the back, you are greeted with the plain metal body of the Honor 7X, which in my opinion, it is still a very solid smartphone to hold, and you might actually love it if you hate wiping fingerprints off the glass back. If I have to hate something on the phone, that would be the thick camera bump. Something that I think Honor could easily do away like it did on the Honor 8 Pro despite the upgraded sensors. Otherwise, the View 10 is better than the Mate 10 Pro in two hardware features. It has a headphone jack and a micro SD card slot, trading off the water and dust resistant body of the Mate 10 Pro. The View 10 sports the same display size as the Mate 10 Pro at 5.99 inches with a full HD Plus resolution, but it uses an IPS LCD instead of OLED. Colors still look great despite of that, but lacks brightness when using outdoors. The View 10 uses a mono loudspeaker instead of the stereo speaker setup on the Mate 10. It still sounds decent enough for casual music listening, but it isn't the best mono loudspeaker I've heard. The Honor View 10 has the same performance internals found on the Mate 10 Pro, which includes the Kirin 970 system-on-chip with MPU, 6GB of RAM, and 128GB of internal storage. It, however, comes with a slightly smaller 3750 mAh battery as opposed to the Mate 10 Pro's 4000 mAh. Like the Mate 10 and Mate 10 Pro, the Honor View 10 ships with Huawei's AI-optimized EMUI 8.0 software based on Android Oreo. It comes pre-installed with a custom-built Bing Translator app that is also available on the Mate 10 Pro. But sadly, it doesn't support the EMUI desktop feature, which back on the Mate 10 Pro, you could easily turn the phone into a desktop computer with a standard USB-C dongle. The View 10 performs similarly to the Mate 10 Pro. There are no signs of slowdowns and lags during the review period, which is all thanks to the combination of hardware and software machine learning. The Honor View 10 software supports Face Unlock, which isn't available on the Mate 10 and Mate 10 Pro software at this point of time. My unit here hasn't received the update to take full advantage of the feature, and the software version I'm on still requires my fingerprint or PIN to unlock the phone despite having the feature. And for now, it only works for hiding lock screen notifications. Another feature that I want to highlight is the Game Suite feature, which surprisingly isn't made available on the Mate 10 or Mate 10 Pro. It is technically a game mode that allows you to adjust the phone's CPU performance, silence notifications, and lock navigation keys during gameplay. The dual camera system on the Honor View 10 has a higher 16MP RGB lens and a 20MP monochrome lens with a f1.8 aperture. That sounds pretty good on paper, and it also supports the AI auto scene recognition feature found on the Mate 10. But the lack of laser autofocus and stabilization hardware makes a huge difference with the Mate 10 and Mate 10 Pro's camera hardware. The Honor View 10's camera works fine like most phone cameras with good lighting, but when it comes to indoor and low-light photos, image quality tend to look over-compressed with a grainy quality, which even the older Honor 8 Pro doesn't produce. Therefore, the Honor View 10's camera is made for the fun photographers rather than the serious ones, as it offers fun camera modes such as AR lens, which Honor has worked in collaboration with popular camera app P2 to integrate facial stickers and background into the built-in camera software with augmented reality. 3D Panorama, a feature that lets you capture live actions when taking panoramic shots. And finally, an artist mode that transforms your photos with artistic effects. As for the front camera, it looks brilliant and takes higher resolution selfies at 13MP as opposed to 8MP on the Mate 10 and Mate 10 Pro. The slightly smaller battery capacity seemed to have almost no effect on the View 10's power efficiency, as the phone managed to last up to 2 days with close to 2 hours of screen on time. This is in fact better than what I've experienced when I was reviewing the Mate 10. There are numerous times where I forget to charge the phone and Huawei supercharging gets it fully charged under 80 minutes. All thanks to the advancements of the Kirin 970 chipset, the View 10 supports 4G standby and VoLTE on both SIM slots, which you can technically make HD voice calls with 2 SIM cards activated without falling back to 3G signals. There's also support for carrier aggregation, which delivers great LTE advanced speeds on supported coverage areas. The compromises between the Honor View 10 and Mate 10 Pro is clear. With almost 1,000 ringgit in savings for the same performance internals, you get a lower quality display, less capable camera hardware, no IP protection against dust and water, and a less attractive design. Despite of that, the Honor View 10 is a serious contender and threat to many devices of the same price range. There is simply no reason not to consider this over Huawei's Mate 10 and Mate 10 Pro if you are only particular about smartphone performance and battery life. The phone officially retails at 2099 ringgit, and even though it was so very recently in the market, some online retailers are already selling way lesser than its original price tag, which makes it a price killer in the flagship smartphone category. That wraps up my review of the Honor View 10, and thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to KLGadgetTV for more weekly tech videos, share this video and give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you soon in the very next one.